Hey everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thank you so much for joining me today to witness my shame. Witness my shame. So this video is slightly different. There won't be any stitching involved in this video at all. This video is recording the starting point of my craft room organizational journey, because it's going to be a journey, my friends. It is going to be a journey. It's a disaster in here. And my plan was to kind of record vlog style and present it at the end of when it's clean and organized and wonderful and look at my great space. And then I talked about this in my last video, my last flosstube video that I did on, I don't know, Sunday, I guess. And I had a couple people say, I look forward to seeing what you do with your craft room because I need to do something with my craft room too. And I thought, you know, I'm nothing if not real. Although showing you what is behind the camera, because I'm in a corner. Like Christy's corner is a corner, and it's a corner for a reason. I have this sort of like organized corner that's like a nice backdrop that has interesting things. And behind you, where you all are sitting, is just a disaster. So this video is showing you, well, it's going to show you where I came from, because I filmed turning this room, which was a living room, into a craft room. And then I'm going to show you where I'm starting and my starting now, because this is a lot. And it's going to take time to fix it. So that's what this video is about. But before we get to that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on my crafty and artistic and apparently organizational endeavors. I appreciate it. And welcome back to all my returning friends. Thank you for joining me again, as usual. If you want to follow my progress on Instagram and other things that I do during the day, you can find me in two places, Dr._Christy and the Spoolery. I'll put them there. And yeah, I have forgotten what I normally say, because I am really embarrassed by like what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to tell you kind of the background of this space, what I've done, and what you're going to see. If you want to just get to like me being like the embarrassment, there'll be two chapters down below. One will be the kind of vloggy transformation from a living room to a craft room that never quite finished because of reasons. And then the second chapter, or I guess it'll be the third chapter because this is the introduction. The third chapter will be the tour of the current room and the plans going forward and what I want to do with this space. So let's back up and talk about what this space is. My husband and I own this property. It's not, and I say property because it's like land. It's just a normal city lot. It's a corner city lot that is basically all buildings. We have our main house, which is right on the corner. We have a little brick workshop. And then we have this little 2-bedroom house next to it. So there we have almost no yard. It's all buildings. And this is essentially, I think it was built as a rental unit. We don't rent it out because we would need to update the kitchen and the bathroom to an extent that it just isn't worth it. And being a landlord does not sound like fun to me. So we have been using it as storage. We don't have a basement, and it's an old house. We have very few closets and very little storage in our house that we live in. And so we've just been using this for storage. In July of 2021, our air conditioner went out, and we live in Mississippi. And so in July in Mississippi, it is pretty unbearable. And all of our windows in our house that we live in are painted shut. So we kind of temporarily moved into this space because we have air conditioning in here and stuff. And the structure of this building is very sound. It's just the bathroom and the kitchen are the problem. So we ended up staying in here for 10 weeks. We didn't have air conditioning for 10 weeks. So all through July, August, and September, well, half of July, August, and September, we had no air conditioning. But what that told me was that this was a usable space because we had literally only used it as storage. So I decided that I would move my craft area from my croffice, my craft room office in the other house, and move it into this living room, Well, I am basically like a goldfish where like I kind of expand to fit my space. And I have expanded to fit this space. I painted the walls. I bought a little bit of furniture. I have a little furniture thing here. And then I had furniture from my house. So I had a house and I moved an entire house into my husband's entire house. So this house is fully furnished and could be a really great space. So I spent some time turning it into a craft room, and this is the living room of the space. And before I got it fully operational, I started my spoolery business and I went into like major production mode. I started messing up the space before I had it fully organized, and then it just got out of control and I just never caught back up with it. So my goal is in the next month or two to make this into not just a usable space, but like an attractive space where things have places they belong, where it's organized and I can find everything. Because right now I can find some things, but I can't find everything. So what you're going to see first is the like transformation from a living room into a craft room. It's been so long since I recorded that. I don't know if there is like audio, if I'll be doing a voiceover, if it's just going to be music. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't even looked at it. It's been sitting on my phone for a year and a half. The second video that I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually record right after I get up from here, is I'm going to take you on a tour of this disaster because I want to see it from a camera's perspective, which will give me a different, and I already am appalled at what this looks like, but seeing it on camera, I think will make it worse. And maybe it will, I don't know, maybe you all can relate to where I am in this process. And my hope is to give you kind of fortnightly updates on this, monthly updates on this, and see where I get to. And I'll tell you kind of my general plans, and then, yeah, that's the plan. You know, give you general plans for the future of this space, where I want things to go, how I want to organize it, because I don't really want to spend money. I just want to use the stuff that I have. I don't want to spend money on it. I just want to use the stuff I have because I have a lot of storage stuff too, and there's no reason I can't use it. That's enough babbling from me. So here is the transformation from living room to craft room, and then you'll see the current space. I'll survive it. I'll survive the embarrassment and shame. Hi everybody. I'm in the tiny house and I want to kind of show you around before I change this front room, which is the living room of the tiny house, into my craft room here. So I'm going to turn you around and just give you like a tour of the room and talk about what I'm going to do in here. And then I'm going to set you up and sort of time lapse the things that I'm doing. That's essentially what I'm going to do. So I'm going to flip you around. And there you can see. So what we have essentially is just a small living room with a parquet floor. This is my amazing red couch that I love. And then we have a big window with good light, and that faces east, so that's morning light. We have that big wall on, well, that's actually the smaller wall, and I'm going to paint that a teal color. The comfy chair is going to go into my office. This wall, and then the rest of it's just going to be white. So that's the bathroom and the kitchen. There's like a TV in here. And then this is a very old dresser that was my brother's when he was a little kid. So essentially, and then there's the door. So this is the space that I have to work with. And I think that the plan is, well, I don't think that the plan is. The plan is that the wall that I showed you on the far end, which is over there. So here's the front door. That's going to be teal. The rest is going to be white. Let me spin you around again. This couch here is going to be moved to that wall. And then I'm going to get a work table for right here for like sewing and cutting and stuff like that, and like filming tutorials and stuff. And then on this wall, I'm going to get like a giant Kallax unit, like the cubes from IKEA. That corner is going to be my filming corner. So I'll still be filming in Chrissy's corner. It will just be in a different place. And that big thing here is a light that I love, and that's going to be over the couch. So that's the plan at the moment. So what I want to do this weekend then is I have to fix, I'll show you, that I just want to patch up that crack right now. And then I need to clean the walls, move everything in, and then I can paint tomorrow, I hope. So my plan for today is to patch and clean, and then my plan for tomorrow is to paint, and my plan for Sunday is to get storage. That's the plan. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to kind of set you up in such a way that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go do that. So first I'm going to this crack, I'm going to scrape it and then spackle it just to get it smooth. And then I have some, what's it called? Sandpaper to, you know, smooth it out more. And one thing that I didn't mention is the reason why I had wanted to make this space into a studio space, right? For me and for Rich, for working, for our kind of hobbies / art forms. He does writing, I do textile crafts. But it always felt kind of creepy to me. Like it felt kind of dark, and the bathroom was gross looking, and the kitchen was gross looking, and I just felt like it needed like a couple $1,000s in it before it would be what we wanted. And then we had to live in here for 2 months without doing that stuff, and it was okay. So that's why I decided that now is the time. So after I moved some furniture, I noticed that I noticed that there's a crack down there, and then there's also a crack over there. So I'm gonna do some more filling, and then I'm gonna let that dry and sand it, and then I'll wipe down the walls. I have a nice big sponge, and I'll just kind of clean the parts that need to be cleaned and wipe down the parts that just need to be wiped down. So that's the plan now. As good as it's gonna get. There's gonna be a lot of sanding, and I think I'm not gonna worry about that one. It's a very small crack, and so. All right, so this is where I'm going to leave it, I think, for now. I moved everything away from the wall. I filled in all of the cracks, and my phone's about to die. So I'm gonna let this all dry, sand it down after my stitchy zoom, and then clean the walls, and then it'll be ready for painting tomorrow. So I will see you when that's done. Hey everybody, so I'm ready to paint. I'm gonna start with that wall over there, which is the teal wall. It's gonna be this color, which I think will be very nice. Let's see if you can see it better. There we go. It'll be nice and bright. And I think it'll go nice with my red couch. So that's the plan. I'm going to set up an audiobook, and I have headphones, and so I'm gonna be listening to my audiobook and painting, so you can watch me do that. I'll be right there. So it turns out I only bought enough paint for one coat. I didn't think it would take that much paint, but it sucked up the paint. So I'm hoping that one coat will be good enough. If not, I'll let it dry and check. I am going to go around the perimeter again just to make that a bit darker because I have a little bit of paint left, but otherwise that's a blue wall. And look how good it looks with my red couch. Love it. Love it. So I'm going to go around the perimeter again, and then I'm going to paint the other walls white, and I'm excited. So I'll see you later and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all painted. So I have the first coat of white up as well. And there's the blue. And I think I definitely need to do a second coat of the white because it's kind of blotchy. Yeah, so I think that's going to be for either later this evening or tomorrow, but I want to show you. Easy. My hands. And then I have like on my, and I think I got some on my butt. I may have leaned against the wall. Well, it's kind of tight quarters in here with all the furniture. So anyway, I'm going to leave here, let this dry a bit, go back into the house, and maybe do another coat this evening. So bye. Hey everybody, it's the next day and I'm going to do a second coat of the white. The blue, I just don't have enough paint to do a second coat, and I think it actually looks okay, so I'm not going to worry about the blue. But I do want to make sure I get the white nice. It's a little bit blotchy, so I want to do another coat of the white. And I had planned on going to IKEA today to pick up some Kallax units and perhaps a sewing table, because I'm going to put a sewing table right here. But the IKEA closest to my house, which is not very close, it's like 2 hours and 45-minute drive, is out of all Kallax units. Like, how can an IKEA be out of Kallax units? So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the coat, the second coat, and then I'm going to reorganize the room so that it'll fit all the things I want to fit into it. But I can't do too much because our air conditioner crapped out again yesterday. So I need to make sure that this house is still usable to sleep in and hang out in for both of us, for me and Rich, if we have to retreat back into here, if it's another 9 weeks before our air conditioner is fixed. So what that means is that I'm gonna kind of rearrange the living room here so that way it's how I want it to be without the new IKEA units. Okay, so I'm done painting, and I had said that I was going to let you see me paint the door, but I forgot. So I just decided to paint it. So I'm gonna flip you around. There's the door here. We'll zoom out a little bit. So there's the door. And then I'm going to put new curtains on that little window. I'm going to get new curtains for that window. And then there's the white wall. And then there's the white wall. So I think that that's it for me. I'm going to let all this stuff dry. And yeah, and then come back and kind of reorganize the space so that it's ready for the, what's it called? The IKEA units, the storage units and stuff when that time comes. Because I really want this to be nice and comfortable. And I'll put the plates back on and all that stuff. And I bought a really fun ceramic, right there, a Mexican tile plate on Etsy for that. That's super colorful and like red and teal to match the couch and the walls. And I think I'm going to do something similar with the curtains. I'm going to make them kind of super colorful with red and teal. So that is the plan for now, and I think I'm done. So I will stop this until it's kind of reorganized, and then I will, well, until it dries, and then I'll come back and reorganize it. Anyway, lots of words happening. So I'm going to stop with the words, and I'll see you later. Okay, so that's where it was. I don't know, October 2021. And I'll show you where it is now. This is the front door. I want to turn this into a red curtain. It would take no time at all to turn that into to make a red curtain to fit this window, and yet I haven't done it. So that kind of tells you where where the state of this is. So I'm gonna flip you around and just kind of show you what's what. I'll point things out, talk about what I want to do, but maybe, and even just in a month, it'll be better, and that will feel really good. So I may have to kind of pull back, do like 0.5 times size, like zoom out a bit, so that way you can kind of see everything. So this room isn't actually as big as it may look, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let me do that, and I'll take you on a tour. All right, so here's the doorway that I was standing in. This is just kind of a bookshelf full of fabric, and then on the top there you see that wicker basket is my resin stuff. I have a random basket of stuff next to it, and then on top I have canvases, I have a giveaway bucket, and that right there is my stitched finishes. And then next to that, oh, and I have boxes on the floor because, oh, this is the floor, right? So these boxes here are very sturdy, and I'm covering them in sticky, like wallpaper stuff to turn them into nice boxes to put on this shelf here and store yarn, which we'll talk about in a minute. This is an old dresser that was my brother's when he was a really little kid. And I have my spools here. I have vintage sewing, well, vintage ribbons and stuff here. And then these two are my normal sewing. This bag here is my dyeing setup. And then in this one, I have sort of vintage spools, yarn, bookmaking stuff, dye stuff, old pocket watches, and then tools and such at the bottom, and then some art, and those are some spools there. That's the kitchen. That's the bathroom. So now we'll take you this way. This is my red couch. It's my favorite couch. I love this couch. And I will give you a look at the whole room. Isn't that absurd? Oh my God. Okay, let's talk about this. So a main issue I have is yarn. I went to Michael's at one point and got a bunch of yarn on clearance, and that's that. This is a clothes rack that I use when I go to festivals to display weavings and stuff like that. This over here is just like stuff, just stuff. Here's paper making stuff. A lot of it needs to go back to my office. There is no surface that is not covered because I cannot not cover a surface. So this is just stuff on the surface. That's my filming corner, so you can see where that is. This part here is like, I don't know, somewhat organized. These are like my cotton fabrics, like my quilting fabrics and bag making fabrics. I have yarn up here. I have sewing stuff here. This is my cross stitch section here. My light box. You know, this is all kind of weaving stuff up here. And my tool pegboard is a problem because these walls, at least the outside walls, are cinder blocks. So I can't, and this is an outside wall. So I can't like put anything, I'd have to mount it, and I'm not willing to do that. So I'll tell you my plans later on, but that is going to go. This is my workstation wall. Ridiculous. I have a problem with putting things away apparently because I have some like weaving stuff here that I haven't done in 4 months. I have my filming here and my iron, my sewing machine, which I obviously can't access. And then right here I have, this is one of those boxes covered, which I think looks really nice. I have my silhouette machine there, and that's sort of like the top part of the room. So now if we go to the bottom part of the room, we'll squat. So here we have, this here is my stock from the spoolery. Luckily it's small, so it just stays in there. Well, I have more in another room in here. This red bag is clothing alterations and mendings I want to do. This is for Cyanotype. It's just washing soda, laundry soda. This bag, I don't actually know what this bag is. I think it came from my Crofus, and then I never like went through it, and it just kind of like got stuck under. This pink bin, I think, has some paint in it. This box here has white and natural roving in it. And then I have a sewing machine and like random junk in the corner. So let's look at take a closer look at my filming corner. That part looks very organized. And then we get to here. This is my basket where I normally put like whips and stuff, but now it's just kind of like where I threw everything. This is my Experiment Advent and Flossmas box. I have some boxes underneath that have cardboard that I can use for floss drops. And then I have like this little corner situation happening, which is just random stuff piled. Again, random stuff piled. There's all the Flossmas like winnings. There's my easel and some storage. I guess looking at it, it's just stuff. Like, it's not nearly as terrible as I thought it would be, although I may be watching this back and be really, really feel really bad about it. But it all feels doable if I just figure out where things can live and get rid of things. So let's talk plans. I'm going to go back over to the door. Sorry, you're coming with me. I'm going to go back over to the door and show you kind of what the plan is and flip you around. So here's the plan. I want to move that couch to the blue wall and that system to the white wall. I want to put this shelving unit there next to the cubes. And I have another shelving unit that I have to put together that I want to put on the other side. So this will just be like a storage wall. On this wall, I want to put more pegboards. I want to put pegboards on this wall to hold tools. I don't know if this wall is also cinder block. I expect it is not actually easy to, mount anything on that, but I will try. And if I can't, this is actually a pegboard system that is freestanding that I made a couple years ago for my other craft space. And so I can just make a larger one of these and that will be set. And it's literally just held together with shelving brackets and zip ties and some bolts and nuts. So that's where I am with this space. And I hope that you will not shame me for the ridiculousness of this space. And I hope that you'll come along with me on this sort of organizational journey to make it better and more usable, because I just got the email today for that Embroidery Guild of America class that I had mentioned about a month ago, where I'm making an embroidered box. And I just got the email on how to do that. And I'm going to need space, right? To cut the pieces and to put it together. And I don't want piles of things. So I think that my new plan is good. And I hope that you'll come along with me on this journey. I'm going to stop now. This is probably going to be a very long video, much longer than I anticipated. But I hope that if you have a craft space or any space that you feel like is overwhelming and needs work, that maybe you'll join me in our craft room makeover. I don't know. Sorry, the light's right behind you. There you go. My arm's getting tired. I don't know. Yeah. At least come along with me on my journey and cheer me on, because I could definitely use cheering on, because although it doesn't feel as overwhelming as like in my mind before I filmed this, it's still not good, friends. It is still not good. And it's not conducive to creativity. Yeah. All right. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck. Please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye. Bye.